You're 35,000 feet in the air, crammed into a middle seat, and you lean over to look out that little oval window. Maybe you're watching the clouds, maybe you're just staring at nothing. But here's the thing, you've probably never once asked yourself, why is that window that shape? Because it wasn't always. And the reason it changed? Two planes literally fell apart in midair. The shape of every airplane window on Earth was decided by disaster. Welcome to Learn Something New today. And let's go back to the early 1950s, because that's where this story starts. After World War II, the aviation industry was on fire, in the good way. Engineers had spent years building faster, more powerful aircraft, and now they wanted to bring that technology to passengers. In 1952, the British company de Havilland launched the world's first commercial jet airliner, the Comet. It was sleek, it was fast, it cruised at altitudes no passenger plane had reached before. People called it the future. Tickets sold out, airlines lined up to buy it. For about 2 years, everything was perfect. Then, in 1954, two comets disintegrated in flight. Not crashed, disintegrated. To understand what went wrong, you need to understand one thing: what pressurization actually does to a plane. Up at cruising altitude, the air outside is way too thin to breathe. So the fuselage, the tube you're sitting in, gets pumped full of pressurized air, like an inflated balloon. And just like a balloon, that tube is under constant stress. Every single flight, the fuselage expands slightly when it pressurizes and contracts when it lands. Expand, contract. Expand, contract. Hundreds of times over the life of an aircraft. Now, think about a piece of paper. If you fold it back and forth in the same spot over and over again, what happens? It weakens. It tears. Metal does the same thing. It's called metal fatigue. And engineers in 1952 understood it, but maybe not well enough. Here's the critical part. Stress doesn't travel through metal evenly. It flows, almost like water, and it looks for the path of least resistance. When stress hits a corner, any corner, it piles up. It concentrates. A sharp corner is basically a stress magnet. The Comet had square windows. Here's where it gets interesting. Investigators found cracks in both comets started at the exact same place, the corners of the windows. Not the glass, not the bolts, corners of the metal frame surrounding the window. At those right angles, the stress concentration was off the charts, literally up to 3 times higher than the surrounding metal. Every time that plane pressurized, those corners were absorbing a massive surge of force. After enough cycles, the metal gave out. The crack spread across the fuselage in less than a second. At cruising altitude, the pressure difference between inside and outside the plane is so extreme that once a crack starts, the aircraft doesn't break. It explodes outward. Both comets went down over the Mediterranean. 56 people died, and the world's aviation industry stopped cold. The investigation that followed became one of the most important case studies in the history of engineering. And the fix was almost elegantly simple. Round the corners. A curved edge has no corners for stress to pile up at. It distributes that force smoothly around the entire frame, like water flowing around a stone instead of slamming into a wall. So next time you're on a plane, look at that oval window. That shape isn't design, it's a memorial. It's proof that engineering learns, sometimes the hard way. If this made you see something ordinary in a completely new way, hit that like button. Subscribe to Learn Something New today for more stories about the hidden science and history behind the stuff you use every day. We drop a new one every week.